When you visit a megalithic site, it's an incredible experience to walk amongst enormous stones that were carved and shaped by people and placed there for particular reasons that we can only guess at. But just walking amongst these stones and seeing these sites doesn't really tell us what life was like for the people who built these sites. For that, we need to go to a museum. The Interactive Megalithic Museum, in Portuguese Museu Interativo de Megalitismo, is located in the heart of the Alentejo, in the town of Moura. The museum is in the center of the town. The museum is enormous, taking up a city block. It was built in 2016, repurposing the building that had been the Moura railway station. You can still see the old buildings and the construction on Google Street View. When you enter the museum's main hall, an impressive wooden structure fills the space. This was designed to mimic the landscape, with the horizontal beams suggesting the stratifications that archaeologists use for dating. The displays are divided into four main sections: life and death, presentation, and contemplation. Through these areas, the museum works to convey the story of the development of megalithism, or the Neolithic culture in which megalithic structures were built. These megalithic monumental structures are found throughout Portugal, but are particularly prevalent in the Alentejo. The museum has a variety of artifacts, many displays and models, and some interactive exhibits, all of which help to paint a fuller picture of the people who lived here thousands of years ago and built the megaliths. For tens of thousands of years, people had lived in the area of what is now Portugal. They lived in a nomadic lifestyle, hunting animals and eating wild plants. They lived in temporary camps, allowing them to move with the game and the changing seasons. They left few traces of their presence that we can see today, except for some stone carvings and paintings, including those in the Alentejo's Escorial Cave, the only cave art in Portugal. Between 9,000 and 7,000 years ago, a new form of lifestyle developed. People started building permanent homes and began raising crops and herding livestock. Small settlements or villages appeared. At the same time, people began erecting megalithic structures. There are two main types of megalithic structures. Stone obelisks, or menhirs, were erected either individually or in groups. The groups are called cromlechs, or alignments. Individual menhirs may have been territorial markers, but many cromlechs make enclosures that might have had a social purpose. Most show astronomical alignments, indicating that they possibly had spiritual or ritual significance. Individual menhirs may have also played similar roles. There were also a wide variety of funerary structures being built. Sometimes artificial caves were dug into the rock. Otherwise, stone structures were built, either small boxes or kists, cista in Portuguese, or large chambered tombs called dolmens, or more commonly in Portugal, antas. As the sedentary lifestyle expanded between 5000 and 2500 BC, the settlements grew larger and more monumental with surrounding walls and ditches. Villages turned into bigger settlements and fortified hill forts. The construction and erection of menhirs continued, but eventually was surpassed by the construction of dolmens. Dolmens are certainly the most common megalithic construction in Portugal. There are many hundreds of them across the country. But when you see them today, standing alone in a field, you're really only seeing their inner structure, and often just the central part. Most dolmens were built with a stone chamber and a corridor attached to it. These were then covered with soil, making a large mound or tumulus. There are few places where you can still see them like they were when they were being used. When a person was entombed within a dolmen, various ritual objects were left with them. Archaeologists have found practical items such as stone axes, which had obviously not been used but were specially placed with the body. There's also a ritual object that is found widely in Iberian dolmens, and particularly those in the Alentejo. These are slate or schist plaques that have been carved into a rectangular or trapezoidal shape and then marked with various geometric engravings across the face, such as triangles, zigzags, or checkerboards. Hundreds, if not thousands, of these have been found. Archaeologists are not sure of their purpose. One widely referenced theory is that their markings had some significance regarding people's names or heritage. Were these some kind of heraldry symbol? We just don't know. They are a fascinating relic of these past times, and the museum celebrates the plaques and their designs in its own construction. The museum's displays of relics of daily life from our ancient past help to fill in the gaps of what we can know and experience from visiting the sites themselves. The ceramic loom weights let us picture people weaving cloth from their sheep's wool, making clothes and blankets. The ceramic pots and stone tools give us a glimpse of what the people were working with and doing. We can imagine them going about their daily life in their villages, laying their dead to rest in the nearby dolmens, and maybe conducting rituals in the cromlechs. The museum also encourages the further discovery of prehistoric life through its educational programs for children, as well as its research library. A visit to the interactive megalithic museum is well worth the time. It teaches us the context in which megalithic sites were built, and gives us a better understanding of the people who lived and died in our lands so many thousands of years ago. I hope you've enjoyed this visit to the Megalithic Museum in Mora and an exploration of life in the Neolithic. If you would like to know more, check out the links down below. I've got lots more information about the museum and all sorts of things on my website, prehistoricportugal.com. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment down below. What have you learned about life in the prehistoric, or what would you like to learn? And do subscribe. I'm going to be visiting lots more sites and sharing more stories about prehistory in Portugal in the weeks and months to come. Thanks for watching.